there is a sea change in Republican attitudes on immigration in support of it, probably driven by the 2012 election, in which anybody could see that the demographic changes going on in the United States doomed the Republican Party to defeat. The voters came out in the same numbers they did in '08, in fact, even larger numbers. It was white voters that didn't come out in 12 as much as they did in '08. And anyone can see, if you look at the demographics ahead, that in 2 years and 4 years and 6 years and 8 years, if the Latinos block vote for the Democrats, not only won't Republicans win, there won't be a Republican Party anymore. So this is an existential issue. It's a matter of life and death for a political party. In fact, if you go back, you look at the fact that in 2004, the Latinos voted for Kerry by only 10 points. Bush almost carried him. And then in 5 and 6, he proposed immigration reform. Had that passed, I doubt that Obama would have been elected in 2008. The Latinos would probably right now be voting solidly Republican. But it failed. They blamed the Republicans, and they voted en masse for Obama. Well, it looks like Republicans are learning their lesson. A 500-interview poll conducted by the Republican pollster John McLaughlin found that people support immigration reform. Republican voters support immigration reform by 66% to 25% opposed. And then when you explain the specifics of Senator Marco Rubio's bill, support swells to 77% and opposition is reduced to 16%. Let me be clear as to what these bills provide, because they were explained to the voters in this poll. Right now, after the bill is passed, anybody who is here illegally will have the option of applying for legal status. To do that, they have to identify themselves to the federal authorities, be fingerprinted, and have their criminal record searched to see that they do not have a criminal record apart from having entered the United States illegally. If they're found to not have a criminal record, they will then get a provisional green card, which legalizes them and permits them to work here, but not to vote, not to become a citizen. To do that, they have to go back to the end of the line in their own country. So if the quota for immigration from Mexico, say it's 100,000 a year and it's used up for the next 4 years of waits, they could only come in the 5th or the 6th year. And to do that, they would have to enter the country legally, which is why they'll be at the end of the line. They would have to not have had a criminal record, learn English, pay back taxes on the work that they did, and pay a fine in recognition of the fact that they came here illegally. And then they could become citizens, and then they would be entitled to vote. So it's really an 8 to 10 year process for most of the people that are here illegally now. Now, the polling shows that it isn't these 11 million people that are undocumented who we have to worry about. In 10 years when they vote, hopefully the Republican Party will have solved its problems with Latinos. It's the 45 million Latino citizens who are living here, who are eligible to vote, who are switching en masse to the Democratic Party for only one reason, because they're afraid that Republicans don't support reform of the immigration laws. If those laws are reformed and are changed, and particularly if Republicans like Rubio are in the vanguard of that change, that goes away. And a couple of weeks ago, I spoke to you about a poll of Latinos in the United States that showed that on the key issues of family, employment, crime, drugs, education, reform in the quality of education, family stability, out-of-wedlock births, the role of the church, Latino citizens in the United States are much more pro-Republican than they are pro-Democrat. And 56% of them said they agreed with the following statement, quote, "I'm worried that the Democrats in the United States are just like the politicians back home who passed out entitlements and handouts, incurred debt, and led to the same social instability that made us leave that country and come to America as the land of opportunity in the first place. And I'm worried that the Democrats are going to ruin America." That's a pretty hefty statement. And it shows that if we take immigration reform off the table, our fellow Republicans are right. This group, the Latinos, will be the new Republicans. Thanks for watching. Now stay tuned. At the end of this video, you'll have a chance to hear an interview conducted by Aaron DeHogue, the financial editor of Newsmax, with a top economist who is predicting an unmitigated disaster in the economy coming up very soon. This tape is so controversial that an Obama donor actually tried to ban it. But it's worth looking at when you hear the optimistic predictions being made by the mainstream economists. It's time to get a second opinion. Thanks for watching.